we've just come through the pandemic and, you know, unless you've been living under a rock, society has dramatically changed. What are the odds that as we go into the next half of this year, you end up with a film that has a Sabbath reference to it, and the reference is a significant number of professionals agree that film has phenomenal powers. It has an ability to transform society like no other media that man has invented ever has or probably ever could. Not only is it able to change culture, moving it from A to B, but it can transform culture from A to Z at a rapid pace that we've probably never seen before in human history. I'd like to talk to you about a film that was released this week. I think what I'm about to say is going to have some importance, be of interest to Seventh-day Adventists and those individuals who understand what Seventh-day Adventists have presented as the end time scenario. The film is called The Tomorrow War and it stars Chris Pratt. The film itself was a collaboration between 3 studios, Skydance, Paramount and New Republic Pictures. Once the film was finished, it was purchased by Amazon Studios and made available on the 2nd of July for public distribution. I was going to talk through what the plot of the film was, but I think I'll just stick in a trailer.
Okay, none of you are my child. Has anyone seen Miri?
Aww. We are fighting a war 30 years in the future.
Is this a joke?
Our enemy is not human. We need you to fight.
I got drafted.
I will be back.
Why is this happening? What about the teachers' deferment and the veterans' deferment?
If I don't go, they're going to draft you in my place. But if something does happen to me, you and Miri will be taken care of.
If something happens to you, Dan, 70% of draftees do not return.
Sometimes a man does what's best for his family, not himself.
Move your shirt, please.
What's this for?
It's just a test.
Oh, a seatbelt. Was it a driving test? No? You don't have jokes in the future?
This device facilitates your jump to and from the future war.
1 minute to jump.
Oh, here, buddy. Take that. You just whip it around like that.
How are you so calm?
Long story.
Yeah, ex-military?
Yeah. Kind of a short story, I guess.
3, 2, 1.
In 11 months' time, all human beings in the future will be wiped from the face of the earth. Unless you help us.
I was trying to save my daughter. If I gotta save the world to save her, then I'm gonna do it.
This is the end. The human species will disappear from the face of the earth. We are literally living on borrowed time.
There's still a chance that we can stop this war from ever happening. So we gotta fight.
Well, it's nice knowing you.
So you've seen the trailer, so why on earth is this of interest? Well, there's a lot of things that you could unpack from this film, to be honest, which I'm not going to. I mean, there are references here to a satanic Santa. If you go through the film, there's a suggestion made in it about vegetarian food being a clear sign of the end. Some of the imagery as well, certainly with the wormhole that's created to transport people from one time slot to another, is very interesting. Take a look.
3, 2, 1.
In 11 months' time, all human beings in the future will be wiped from the face of the earth.
That should be fun.
Welcome to the future.
So when I saw this CGI inside the film, it automatically triggered in my mind pictures of the images that I'd seen the evangelicals use when they're looking to describe the rapture, and you have a lot of electricity and light and people floating up into the sky, and it seems to be very much the same kind of scene with clouds that they've represented in the film. But of course, as Adventists, we don't believe in the rapture, so why on earth is this film of interest to Adventists? In just over half an hour into the film, the timestamp is there. There's a very interesting explanation being given about the alien species and their cultural habits. Have a listen to this.
Every 6 days, the white spikes disappear. They crawl back into their nests.
We call it the Sabbath, their day of rest, and that's when we insert troops.
Did you get that? So, the aliens that they're fighting in the future are Sabbath-keeping aliens, and the whole world is uniting to fight against them. It says every 6 days the white spikes, that's what they call the aliens, the white spikes disappear, they crawl back into their nests, we call it the Sabbath, their day of rest, and that's when they insert troops. So they take, very much like if you read some of Jewish history, enemies used to start to attack the Jewish people on their feast days and on their Sabbath, and so at one stage they decided to take their weapons to church with them and to fight back on a feast day because they were getting slaughtered. What these guys are doing is exactly that. They're making use of the fact that these creatures are Sabbath keepers. Now, this doesn't just happen once in the film. There's another occasion where there's a discussion between the Doctor and Chris Pratt, who is Dan Forrester, who's the lead actor, and this is what he said again.
You know, there's another Sabbath coming up tomorrow.
Yeah, I know. That's when I leave.
Right.
But there's two references to the Sabbath. Just in case you missed the first one, you get another reference to the Sabbath later on in the film. He says there's another Sabbath coming up tomorrow, and he says, yeah, that's when I leave. So what's the take-home message? I mean, this just blew my mind. The take-home message is that in the future, the whole world is banded together to fight Sabbath keepers. But there is an indication of what they are going to attempt to do in the film, is to completely obliterate the Sabbath-keeping aliens in the year that they travelled back to, which is 2022. Seek to destroy all these Sabbath-keeping aliens. Now, as I said before, film has a very interesting way of changing culture, changing society. What are the odds that as we near the end of Earth's history, you end up with a film that has something so random in it? The film is called The Tomorrow War. It was released, as I said earlier, on the 2nd of July. If you look at a calendar, the 2nd of July is a Friday, which means tomorrow, from the date of its release, would actually be a Sabbath. You can call it the Tomorrow War, or I guess you could call it the Sabbath War. Is this coincidence? We've just come through the pandemic, and unless you've been living under a rock, society has dramatically changed. What are the odds that as we go into the next half of this year, you end up with a film that has a Sabbath reference to it, and the reference is, these are aliens that we need to destroy? I don't know about you, but I think we are living in very, very interesting times. Is this coincidence? Or is the world being prepared for something that is coming down the pipeline? What do you think? Comments below.